Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Gustavo Football Headquarters. If this is the first time you are coming across my content, you can give me a subscribe for quality soccer content like this. Let's start with the Premier League. As we all know, this weekend is stacked with a lot of games. Now, we are going to analyze some of these games, especially the tough ones, right? Or the main teams that we all do support. Yes, so I think let's start with Manchester United going away to Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, I think this game is going to be a very, very tough game, right? And I think for obvious reasons, right, Manchester United really have to do what it takes to win this game. United currently are in a wonderful run of form, right? Winning 3 games and drawing 1, which earned Ruben Amorim winning the manager of the month. And mbeumo also winning the player of the month. Right, so this shows you how Manchester United have played in the last month. Now, coming into this month, right, they start their fixture against Tottenham Hotspur, a very tough game, right? But I made mention that Manchester United really have to do anything at all costs to win this game. Why do I say this? Tottenham Hotspur beat Manchester United last season 4 times in a row. They beat Manchester United at the double, home and away in the Premier League, in the EFL Cup, and then finally the big one in the Europa League final, which gave Tottenham that spot in the Champions League they are playing currently this season. Yeah, so this shows you that Tottenham have really dominated Manchester United in the past years, not just last year. The last time Manchester United beat Tottenham was in 2022. This shows you how Tottenham have been dominating Manchester United. How do you allow a team beat you home, away, and far away? Bro, it's too much, right? And I think all these losses, right, came under Ruben Amorim. 4 straight losses. So I think Ruben Amorim really needs to do something this time around. On the side of Tottenham, they are coming back from a very comfortable win in the Champions League against Copenhagen, where they beat them by 4-0, right? But then in the Premier League, they lost at home again to Chelsea, who have been their nemesis for a very long time now. Yes, so coming into this game, I think they will be coming in with full confidence, right? They'll be coming in with full confidence, at least winning that Champions League game at home.
So, losing against Chelsea by 1-0 and then coming back in the Premier League again, I don't think Tottenham can afford to lose back-to-back games, right? This is one factor that's going to make this game a very tough one. On the side of Manchester United, they are also not going to allow Tottenham beat them for the 5th time on the trot, right? So these 2 factors are really, really going to count in this match on Saturday. With Tottenham, they started the season very, very well, as we all know. But then, with time, right, inconsistencies started setting in. And I think the main reason is because of the high number of games they are playing, right? Currently, they are in all the cups available. They are playing in the Champions League, the Premier League, the EFL, and then the FA Cup. They are playing all these games, right? So I think fatigue sets in at some point. And as we all know, there are certain teams without that kind of mentality, right? They are not hardened to that extent. They fold at the least pressure. Yes, and we all know Tottenham is that kind of club. Yes, so I think with the number of games they are playing this season, their inconsistencies is not a surprise to me at all. Tottenham Hotspur currently lies 6th on the league table in the English Premier League. On the side of Manchester United, as I said, they are currently on a 4-game unbeaten run, winning 3 games and drawing 1. On the side of Manchester United, in recent games, right, we've seen an improvement in the team's structure, the team's organization, and most importantly, the mentality. There's a shift. Why do I say this? 3 wins on a trot, and against Nottingham Forest, they trailed. As we all know, Manchester United in the past, they would have folded. But then they came back, got a goal back, and I think they almost won it at the death. Right? So I think with Manchester United, there has been some kind of improvement. So they just hope to build on that. But then, will Tottenham be a standing block? Let's have a conversation in the comment section. So on the side of Manchester United, I really expect them to do a whole lot this season. Right? I expect them to do extra. Because currently, they are only playing in the Premier League and the FA Cup. Right? So, less games, less pressure, less fatigue, less stress. Hence, we expect more from Manchester United to have at least a decent position at the end of the Premier League. At least qualify for an European place. Right? Because the number of games they have this season is less. And they have some, I think, quality players this season as well. So this should be an extra boost for Manchester United going forward this season. Now, with the head-to-heads, in the last 5 games, Tottenham have won 4 and then drawn 1 in all competitions. On the side of Manchester United, United have won 4 and then lost 1 as well. With the win probabilities, Tottenham are having a 46% win probability to Manchester United's 27% win probability. This is all down to Tottenham's dominance over Manchester United in the past seasons. Premier League and clean sheet kings Arsenal travel to the West side to take on Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. Now with Sunderland, they've really showed how good they are since their return from the Championship, right? And coming into the Premier League, they made so many signings, and I think these signings have really strengthened this team. And their performance this season so far after 10 games has shown how good they can be. And they've beaten the likes of Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and Brentford already this season. Sunderland score a lot of goals, and they've proved that this season. They failed to score in only 3 games after 10 matches this season, and they've scored 2+ goals in 4 of these games, right? So that shows you how good they can be. They score a lot of goals, right? This season so far, the number of games they've lost is very surprising, because as we all know, Sunderland in the past years, anytime they come back to the Premier League, right, they always linger at the bottom of the table. But then this season, what has happened? A lot of things have changed in this Sunderland side. But the question is, can they be this consistent till the end of the Premier League season? With how good they are at scoring goals, is Arsenal's clean sheet record currently under a threat? You can share your view in the comment section. On the side of Arsenal, they are currently 6 points clear on top of the Premier League table coming into this game week. Now, one thing has really impressed me about this Arsenal side, right? Coming from the Champions League win against Slavia Prague, beating them by 3-0. Arsenal really made some changes into their starting lineup. But then, nothing changed. Impressive performance from players who are not starters. They came into the side, nothing looked like it's a new side, right? The likes of Norgard, Merino used as a striker. The likes of Nwaneri also given a chance in the Champions League. And then they played massively well. So that shows you how good or how strong Arteta has built this Arsenal side, right? And this has really impressed me and a lot of people. Arsenal's clean sheet record currently stands at 8th, right? That's a club record which was set in 1903. Can this record continue against this stubborn Sunderland side? Let's wait after 90 minutes and see what really happens. In the last 5 games, Sunderland have won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1. On the side of Arsenal, Arsenal have won all 5 previous games, right? And then, with the head-to-heads, in the last 5 games between these two sides, Sunderland have drawn 1 and lost 4. And then Arsenal winning 4 and then drawing 1. With the win probability, Sunderland are having a 13% win probability to Arsenal's 69% win probability. So this shows you how Arsenal are having an upper hand in this match, right? Arsenal have really been playing well, defending very well, scoring goals, right? So I think Arsenal, most of Arsenal fans currently won't be worried about the final results. They believe they can win this game. But then, their clean sheet record, can they set a new club record? Let's see after 90 minutes of this game. Chelsea versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Inconsistency FC. You are welcome. I made mention here that Chelsea, the only problem that I'm having with Chelsea and Maresca is their inconsistency. Look at that win against Tottenham. I said it that Chelsea will win against Tottenham Hotspur and then go and lose or draw against a lesser club. And I made mention of Maresca's choice of players in certain games. Throughout this season, I've observed that Maresca really likes to rotate a lot when he's playing a lesser club. Just like, let's say, he's underrating these clubs. And then he goes in and it backfires. Against this same Wolverhampton side, when they played in the EFL Cup, it almost backfired. We see what happened. Wolverhampton almost came back into the game at the death. So sometimes there are certain games you don't take certain risks. Right? You take these risks and then they turn out to be problems for you. Look at the likes of Tosin in that game against Karabakh. Look at Hato in that game against Karabakh. You are playing against Karabakh and there's pressure on you. Bro, then what will you do when you play against Barcelona at the Camp Nou? What will you do when you play at the Santiago Bernabeu against Real Madrid? What will you do? Against Karabakh and you are shivering. Bro. So I think sometimes these players, their coach has to let them understand that not every time will everyone get a chance to play. And it's like the coach is trying to please everyone. That's the point. And sometimes with coaching, it's not necessary to please everyone. You have to do what is right to get a team on the right track. The fact that someone is not getting a chance to play doesn't mean you have to do anything at all costs for them to play. That's what currently is happening at Chelsea and with Maresca. Now, against this Wolverhampton side, they've been in poor form. And I am expecting Chelsea to win this one convincingly, especially playing at home. And plus, in the last 34 home games that Chelsea have played, they failed to score in only one. Right? So that shows you they score a lot of goals when they are playing at home. And this is a weak Wolverhampton side. Their poor form led to the sacking of their coach, Victor Pereira. And then now they are expecting to bring in a new head coach. And we've heard that Rob Edwards of Middlesbrough is currently in talks to replace Victor Pereira at Wolverhampton Wanderers. With the side of Wolverhampton, right, they currently hold one of the worst records in the Premier League. They are currently the only English team in the Premier League not to win their first 10 games in 2 consecutive seasons. Right? So that shows you how bad Wolves have been. This is a team who has been very strong in the past years. But then from last season to this season, it seems things have really taken a wrong turn at this club. With the head-to-heads in the last 5 games between these two sides, Chelsea have won 3 and lost 2 against Wolverhampton. Wolverhampton have won 2 and lost 3. Now, in the last 5 games that these two clubs have played, Chelsea have won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1. Wolverhampton have played 5 games, lost 4 and drawn 1. And with the win probability, Chelsea playing at home having a 73% win probability to Wolverhampton's 11% win probability. Yes, so as I said, I'm really looking up to Chelsea to win this game comfortably at home. Manchester City will be hosting Liverpool at the Etihad this weekend. What a game we have in our hands. In the past few weeks, we would have said this game was going to be easy for Manchester City. But then with Liverpool, the turnaround has been remarkable. Right? They beat Aston Villa and then beat the almighty Real Madrid at the Anfield. Right? So with this, it shows you that Liverpool is not dead. The spirit is still there. And I can confidently say that Liverpool's storm is currently over. Manchester City are currently in flying form. Right? After that commanding victory against Dortmund in the Champions League. With Manchester City, after that loss against Brighton, where they lost by 2-1. They've played 13 games since that time, drawn 2 and lost just 1. So I think with this, we can see that Manchester City are showing signs of the real Manchester City that we know. But then, coming up against this resurging Liverpool side, is Manchester City going to continue this wonderful run? Erling Haaland in remarkable form. Can Van Dijk, Konate and co stop Erling Haaland? Let's have a conversation in the comment section. With Liverpool, they are coming from the back end of a first back-to-back win since September after beating Aston Villa and then Real Madrid. With that win against Real Madrid, I think that win is a statement win, right? And this kind of win boosts your confidence, boosts their morale, it lifts the spirit of the team, right? So currently, they feel they've beaten Real Madrid, right? So it's just one or two things that went wrong at a certain point, right? So I believe that they are really going to give Manchester City a run for their money in this match. In the last 5 fixtures between Manchester City and Liverpool, right? These last 5 games have produced 13 goals. This shows you the number of goals that really comes out in these matches. It's mostly end-to-end. No dull moment, right? As we all know, both teams like to play at the front foot. And this is really going to make this game very, very interesting. With Erling Haaland, this is an interesting start. If he's able to score a brace against Liverpool, it's going to make him the fastest player ever in the Premier League to reach 100 goals, right? Charlie, let's talk about Erling Haaland. This guy has really buzzed the Premier League since his arrival. We all know the Premier League is a very strong league, very robust and hard to thrive in. But Erling Haaland has really made this Premier League look so easy. It's not easy though, but then that shows you that he's a world-class player and he's really good at what he does. With this Liverpool defense leaking goals, do you believe Erling Haaland can get this hat-trick, this brace? To me, with his quality, right? And as I said earlier, with the way Liverpool are leaking goals, I strongly believe Erling Haaland can do it. Not taking anything away from Van Dijk, Konate and co. But then Erling Haaland has been really, really prolific since his arrival in the Premier League and then currently this season. With the head-to-heads, Manchester City have won 1 in the last 5, drawn 2 and lost 2. Liverpool, on the other hand, have won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1. Now, with Manchester City in their last 5 games, they've played 5, won 4 and then lost 1. With Liverpool, they've played 3. They've played 5, won 3 and lost 2. Who do you think is going to come up in this blockbuster Premier League game? You can leave your predictions in the comment section. Highline FC, I dey hail una. I dey hail una. Munjai. Continue. We beg you, don't stop the highline. Oh. Don't stop. We beg. Leave it like that. Don't stop. No. We don't want that thing. You are good at the highline thing. You played this last season and it worked. So continue. We beg. We the agenda boys. We don't want to do something. So continue playing. You can't see. Barcelona against Club Brugge. Barca had to lose this game. You the Barca fan watching me. You know you had to lose that game. How on earth was that ball a foul ball against Chesney? That ball, how was that a foul? How was that a foul? If it was Real Madrid, Lamine Yamal will open his mouth and say Real Madrid are cheats. They cheat, blah, 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 they do that, they do this. But look at what happened. I've said here multiple times, Barcelona doesn't need a highline to play football. Bro, Barcelona were already winning. You were already winning without this highline thing. You were controlling games. You were possessing a lot. You had a lot of the ball. So why introduce this? Well, since Hansi Flick says he's going to continue with it, we support him. Let's go. We dare your back. Bosu Flick. So yes, this weekend Barcelona goes away to Celta Vigo, who are in super form right now. And with how Barcelona are conceding currently right now, I feel this game against Celta is going to be a big problem. Right? There's an unwanted record in the camp of Barcelona right now. Barcelona have conceded 20 goals in 15 official matches this season. They are second worst as a club record. Right? This is their second worst conceding rate. I will say all is down to this Highline team. Right? They played it last season. Yes, it worked. But then, this season, it's not working. So I think something has to be done. It's either you stop or find an antidote to the way Barca's line is easily broken. Now, in the last 5 games, on the side of both teams, Celta Vigo are currently on fire, playing very well, winning all games. In their last 5 games, Celta have won 5. On the side of Barcelona, Barcelona have won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1. In the last 5 games between these two sides, Barcelona have won 3, Celta Vigo winning 1, and 1 ending as a draw. With the win probability, Barcelona are having a 57 win probability to Celta Vigo's 21% win probability. These are just figures though, but then currently with the way Celta is playing, I wouldn't be surprised if they are able to get a point or even all 3 points against this Barcelona side. What do you think? Let's share our thoughts and have a conversation. Rayo Vallecano versus Real Madrid. Yes, Rayo is one of the toughest teams to play this season so far. They've been really stubborn. I quite remember their game against Barcelona, right? That game really had to go on the side of Rayo. I can tell you that comfortably. This team really plays good attacking football, right? They've got certain players, right, that you may not even give that level of attention. But then when you play against them, you notice how good they are. But then on the side of Real Madrid, they are really playing some good stuff so far this season. But then that loss against Liverpool really worried their momentum, right? With the game against Liverpool, Real Madrid didn't really show their class. They were below par. We can be very honest with ourselves. But then, against this Rayo Vallecano side, in the last games that they've played against Real Madrid at home, Madrid has not won even a single one. Right? In the last 5 games between these two sides, Real Madrid have won 2, with 3 ending as a draw. Right? So with the way Rayo is playing so far this season, and with them playing at home, I think this game is really going to be a tough one for Real Madrid. It's going to be really tough. I think Real Madrid are really going to rely on individual quality if they are to get something out of this game. But then on the side of Rayo, we were also disappointed at how they lost to Villarreal. That was so unlike Rayo. I was so surprised at that result. I think it was out of frustration because you could see from how they were conceding the goals and from how they were even playing. That wasn't the typical Rayo team we know. And in the Europa League or the Conference League they played, they trailed by 2 goals. They came back and won by 3 goals to 2. That shows you how good this side is. Yeah, so I think with Real Madrid going away to Rayo, they shouldn't underrate this club. Real Madrid should play at their 100% best. Else something might happen at the end of 90 minutes. This brings us to the end of today's Premier League and La Liga preview. If this is the first time you are coming across my content, you can subscribe for quality soccer analysis and content like this.